Good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show for Thursday, July 24th. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me, my special guest this morning is David Bunte. He's the Chikaming Township supervisor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You're a veteran to the show.
Well, round two. A few other interviews with Andrew over the period.
How long have you been township supervisor?
I was elected the first in 2016. So
Okay.
November 8.5 years.
So it's an elected position. Who elects you?
My electorate in Chikaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the people.
The people.
All right. And so what are your terms?
4-year terms.
4-year terms.
Right. So I'm in. Just began the third term last November in that election.
Okay.
So,
give us an exclusive look at who you are. How long have you been in Chikaming?
Well, I've lived in Chikaming. Had a home there since 2005.
Okay.
Just 20 years ago, or just a couple weeks ago, actually.
Wow.
But I grew up in the South Burbs of Chicago, Chicago Heights. Went to school there, and family lived there for most of my early years.
Yeah.
And
Cubs or White Sox?
Even though I'm far south side, I'm a diehard Cubs fan.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And fingers crossed. We're hoping this is going to be another one of those years.
Yeah. Detroit's going to challenge you, but go ahead.
You know what? Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be cool.
Oh my gosh, I think that would be.
I don't know if the networks will allow that. But we'll see.
Who dictates it, right?
Right.
So I grew up in Chicago Heights. Spent most of my formative years in the summer, early years here in the region, especially in Warren Dunes State Park area, and camped in homes and rented homes with the family over the summers here. And it was always a second home to me, even though we only lived about 45 minutes away in the South Burbs. So it's always been in my blood, and I've always loved the region and Chikaming specifically. Did some youth counseling there and summer camps and things like that, as you do in your teen years. And then was fortunate enough to be able to buy the home there in 2005, and have been there permanently since the early 2010s, so 2013, 2014.
So you grew up vacationing in the area, spending a lot of time, a lot of your summers in the area, and then you fast forward a few years, all of a sudden you're the supervisor of that same area. That's cool.
Yeah, I guess cool is one word you could use. I was semi-recruited. I was living here, but commuting and working in Chicago, and I could work remotely, fortunately, after many, many years in service industries.
Okay.
And when some neighbors of mine came and said, we really could use some help. We want to see things move forward in Chikaming, and wondered if you'd be interested. And you're in your mid 50s, you start to think, okay, I'm at the not latter years of your life, but is it career change time? And can you do something different? And I've always been wanting to learn something new and do something new. And over some months of contemplation, it was a fairly short turnaround.
Yeah.
I decided to throw my hat in the ring and run for office. So,
okay.
It's been a rewarding and challenging experience. I didn't think I'd ever know as much as I do about sewer and water and road construction. And
it's fun, isn't it?
It is fun. And when you start to really dig down, and no pun intended,
right,
and deeply, it's fascinating to learn something. You can totally change careers and go into a different industry. So
yeah.
It's great.
That's great. Well, we thank you for your community service on that. We're going to explore many aspects, hopefully, of the things that you just talked about. I'm interested in your early career, what you're doing before you're doing what you did now, or what you're doing now. So all that and more, it's coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show. Cubs, huh?
Cubs.
Not the White Sox.
I'll respect the Sox, but my heart's at the Cubs.
Okay. I have a deep affinity for the White Sox, primarily because they weren't on when the Cubs were on. And the Cubs were on when I wanted to watch kid TV.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry about that.
WGN back in those days, it was all Cubs. My mama had the radio and the little TV on the kitchen every single day.
That's good
She's
stuff.
Probably more diehard than I am, and she gets a little upset.
More with David Bunte in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's the WSJM Morning Show, 7:05 a.m. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's the WSJM Morning Show, and it's 77 degrees outside. Why is it so hot already? Well, because it's summertime. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We have weather forecast in just a moment. Do want to say good morning and welcome to our guest in studio. David Bunte is here. He's the Chikaming Township supervisor. He's going to be our guest all hour long. And give us a one-word description of outside, David.
Steamy.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Steamy outside. In fact, I walked up to the doors of Midwest Family Media, Marketing and Media this morning, and the front window, if you walk through it, you know it's all glass. It was fogged up.
Mm-hmm. A little moisture out there.
A little bit of moisture. My glasses fogged up. Yep. Everything fogged up. All right. So we do have a heat advisory in effect from 11 o'clock this morning until 8 o'clock this evening. Today's forecast does call for partly cloudy skies, just a 30% chance of showers and storms until late afternoon, and then hot and humid conditions, high around 95 degrees, a heat index today above 100. So be careful out there. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting to 20 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, mostly cloudy and those storms moving in. 80% chance of showers and storms this evening, a low around 73. Hopefully the storms that come through give us some sort of relief just for a little bit. We'll take it. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday's forecast, mostly cloudy, a 50% chance of showers and storms, hot and humid, high of 86. Saturday, hot and humid. Sunday, hot and humid. Chance of rain showers on Saturday is about 60%. So a good chance of rain on Saturday, high at 87. Sunday, we decrease the chance of rain showers, but it'll still be hot, still be humid with a high around 88 degrees. We'll keep the temperatures like that and the conditions probably Monday and Tuesday. Some of the news that we're bringing you today from the WSJM newsroom, the Twin Cities Area Transportation Authority, TCATA, they are getting closer to having someone else manage the dial-a-ride service. The authority is planning to issue a request for proposals, an RFP, on August 4th for a firm to take over management of dial-a-ride. Deputy Director Tressa Greshak tells us the goal is to review bids in September and then hire a firm for dial-a-ride management in October. She says there could be several benefits of having a management firm run the bus service.
To create some stability for TCATA, that's something that really hasn't been present over the last decade. We're also hoping that they can bring in some new technology. Hopefully that will improve service for passengers.
For example, Greshak says a management company could have an app that customers could use to arrange for rides and methods of keeping better statistics on ridership so the service might run more efficiently. She adds hiring a management firm could lead to lower insurance costs.
We are hoping that the management company could bring in their own insurance. There are some ways where we could potentially lease our vehicles to them, and then they would insure the vehicles. Lots of details there that we don't quite know, but we're hopeful that that could help cut our insurance costs.
Insurance for dial-a-ride used to be as low as $70,000 per year, and now it's around $300,000 per year due to some lawsuits and crashes. Greshak says a new management firm for the service should be in place next year. Meanwhile, TCATA Interim Director Todd Shern has proposed forming a new authority overall to oversee the entire operation, one that would serve areas outside of the Twin Cities so it has more revenue potential. Any changes made at the service would have to be guided and approved by the Twin Cities Area Transportation Authority Board. The Friends of Berrien County Trails Group is welcoming the start of construction on the new Lakeshore Trail this week. After years of work to make the project happen, the Lakeshore Trail will run along the side of M63 from the Harbor Shores Trails on Higman Park Road to the Monty Road trailhead of the Lakeview Mountain Bike Trail. It's intended to connect trail systems in Benton Harbor and St. Joseph to points north. Friends of Berrien County Trails Vice President Mike Gary tells us this will be a great amenity for the entire community.
This trail will be available for families, bicyclists, all the way from folks in Harbor Shores going north along Higman Park. It really connects a lot of different communities for a great family venue.
Gary says it took a lot of collaboration to make the Lakeshore Trail happen, with participation from the Berrien County Road Department, MDOT, Benton Township, Harbor Shores, and others. Construction of the new trail is expected to be finished by the end of the year, with nature restoration completed before the official opening that's expected next spring. And good news for the South Haven business community. Elizabeth Bernard is stepping into her new role as director of the South Haven Regional Business Hub. The hub announced her hiring this week, and Bernard is no stranger to the organization. She previously served as director of the Manufacturing Growth Alliance in Benton Harbor, where she actually supported manufacturers that partnered with South Haven Regional Business Hub. Now, as the hub's director, her goal is to support all kinds of businesses in the region with a special focus on new entrepreneurs.
In 2024, 2,600 new business applications were filed. That means there were 2,600 entrepreneurs who wanted to get their start in Southwest Michigan. But unfortunately, 45 to 50% of these will close within the first 3 years. So there is an extraordinary opportunity to get ahead of these entrepreneurs before they even launch their business, to make sure they know that there's a network behind them.
Bernard says while tourism is a major industry in the region, efforts should also be made to strengthen other sectors that attract new residents.
We need economic activity in our region that will stay on between the months of September through May.
Bernard says the South Haven area is facing a demographics challenge, as in the last 20 years, the median age of residents has gone dramatically up. However, she believes attracting younger people to the area can be accomplished through economic development. She also believes connecting retirees with those new residents and entrepreneurs should be a goal. Bernard says the South Haven Regional Business Hub is already getting to work on new educational resources to help support businesses, and we can expect to see more in the near future. That's a look at some of the news that we're covering in the WSJM newsroom. We have more to talk about this hour. This hour, we do have our special guest in studio, David Bunte. He is the supervisor for Chikaming Township. Let's say good morning to him. Good morning again, David.
Good morning again.
And tell us just a little bit, we'll get to sports in just a moment, and we'll continue our discussion on the video live stream, but tell us, for all listeners, a little bit about yourself. Who is David Bunte? Where were you born?
Born in Chicago Heights, far south suburbs of Chicago. And what a lot of people don't know is that I have a farming background from my father's side.
Okay.
My mother was an immigrant from Romania back in right after World War II.
Okay.
But grew up in the Heights, and then from there went to Illinois State University and got degrees in marketing and advertising, and moved into if you recall the now No Frills airline, People Express, that was out of Newark, New Jersey back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
I was recruited by them right out of college and went out to New York then and worked for the airlines.
Wow.
For 5 years until Continental Airlines bought them out.
Okay. What'd you do for the airline?
We were cross-utilized, so we did everything from operations management, plane locations, to flight attendant work, to gate work. So we worked every position in the company. It was a very unique concept. It was started up by the original starter of Southwest Airlines.
Yeah.
So it was a great time of my life because I was 22 years old and got to travel the world for next to nothing and experience life on the East Coast in New York for 5 years. So that was a great, like a jump start to my career, I guess you should say. And then moved back to Chicago and started in the service industry at the Park Hyatt, the original Park Hyatt in Chicago, and then opened the Swiss Hotel in Chicago in banquet management.
Wow, you weren't kidding when you said service industry.
Yes. And then later on moved down to South Miami and Sarasota, and then worked and managed the Colony Hotel in Miami Beach for a few years. Moved back to Chicago back in the, I think it was around 1990, late 80s, 90, and then joined a catering firm. There was a mom and pop firm called Food for Thought Catering in Chicago, in the north suburb of Chicago, and then worked with them for almost 20 years.
Wow.
So it was all service industry related. That was the majority of my career has been in the service industry. I've been a natural leap, I guess, when you get into government work, that it is a service business, and that's what you're trying to do is please the people and make their lives a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you're in your third term now as Chikaming Township supervisor? Okay. We're going to explore all that. I have a lot of questions already.
Okay.
The stories you could tell. I mean, airlines, hotels, and food service industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been quite a career.
We might get to Chikaming today. We got a lot to talk about with regard to Chikaming. So we're going to have you here for the full hour and talk about it right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We're going to start that conversation right now on the video live stream, which you can listen to and watch on YouTube, on Facebook, on our WSJM app. You can watch it on your phone at work. Nobody's going to know. Just put your headphones in, and you can see it. So download the app and watch us right now. It's the WSJM Morning Show, 7:15. Staying on the video live stream for the WSJM Morning Show. So that's fascinating. So let's start. I mean, your mom is an immigrant,
right?
From Romania.
She was born in Romania and then moved to Austria. They had to move to Austria during the war.
Okay.
And they went through the entire family process of the boxcar escaping Germany and southern Germany to the boat to Ellis Island, and then eventually to central Illinois. And, but in that period of time, most church groups were the ones sponsoring families and immigrants that were trying to get or escape the war-torn areas of Europe. And they settled in just outside of Bloomington, Illinois, her and the parents and a few of the kids, a large family actually. And a lot of that, my parents are still, my mom's 92, my dad's 94. They're still alive. Spent the weekend with them up in Silver Lake this past weekend.
That's fantastic.
So I'm very fortunate to have the background and the history that she has is fascinating.
Yeah. And you have a lot of documents and photos for the family to keep
and she's also been doing a bit of a memoirs.
Okay.
Trying to recall, I'm putting down all the history of what they went through, especially during that period in the transition from during the war-torn period back to the United States. And her stories are nothing compared to mine, or nothing compared to hers.
Okay.
So I'm very lucky. So.
I would love to, open invitation. If she wants to come in, you want to bring her in, I'd love to have some of those stories.
She would love that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's set that up.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that'd be good. And your father, what kind of farming?
Well, his entire side of the family grew up in Beecher, Illinois area. So Beecher, Grant Park.
Where's that?
About 10 miles south of Chicago Heights. So just Grant Park, Crete area, Moni, and farmed land back in.
Is there any farmland still there?
Yeah, it's diminished tremendously.
I'd say.
So I spent my summers when I was really young doing detasseling corn and baling hay and milking cattle. And we'd set up a huge garden out there. So, it's one of those things that when you're doing it, you just can't wait to get out of it, because it's not what you want to do. But I would encourage anyone who has the opportunity to understand and do it, to learn how hard work it is. Yeah. And where everything comes from and where it originates from. I think people would have a better perspective on our farming community if they did it for a while and really understood it. Yeah. And I was fortunate. And now I look back and say, thank goodness I had that opportunity to work farms for my younger years.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't trade that experience for anything. I grew up in a farming community, and you know what roguing is. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I got to rogue when I was in high school. I earned $4.25 an hour. My dad paid me. He was my boss. Mm-hmm. Tough client that he was. But I think we were going through carrots, basically, and he was growing stuff to seed. Mm. And so you made sure that all the blooms were white. If they weren't white, that was a rogue, and you had to pull it out, take it to the end of the field, and throw it out.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun.
Crazy experiences. Yeah. That was a very interesting time. That and getting into the retail or restaurant business, everybody should experience those.
I want to know.
Restaurant
don't
retail.
Skip over the airlines. I want to know about so the No Frills airline. Was that the butt of a lot of Saturday Night Live jokes?
It probably was at that period of time. I didn't look at it that way because
you were doing it.
Opportunity.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed working there and had great friends and companions. But it was an airline. You were ticketed on the plane. All you needed was a reservation.
Wow.
And this goes back, obviously, to so many years now. A lot of people don't recall, but we would do the ticketing on the plane.
Just like a train.
Just like a train. We'd ticket on plane.
Hold that thought, and we'll come right back to it. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Partly sunny, hot, and humid today. High temperatures at 95. Feel like temperatures will be 100 to about 103. We do have a chance of a few thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. Those could be strong to severe. We'll drop down to 73 tonight. And then a few scattered showers and partly sunny skies on Friday. High temperatures are back at 86. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Puja.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:19, it's the WSJM Morning Show, Thursday, July 24th. Thanks for joining us. 77 degrees, and it feels even warmer because we have the humid conditions out there. But enjoy yourself, stay hydrated, stay in the shade, stay in the air conditioning, take frequent breaks if you have to be outside. check on those of us who are sensitive to the outdoors. You've got asthma, you've got heart conditions, all that kind of stuff. Just make sure that you're keeping an eye on your friends and family. Okay, our special guest this morning, David Bunte. He is the Chikaming Township supervisor. And I promise we've not yet talked about Chikaming because we're getting a little bit more information about David himself. But we were talking on the video live stream a moment ago about some of your various career things, and one was working for a no-frills airline. And you were mentioning in the early '80s, how do you ride on one of those airplanes back then?
You made a reservation.
You made a reservation, and then you walked on the plane.
You walked on the plane. You sat down. We got in flight. And then our ticketing carts came out before beverage services would come out.
The ticketing carts.
Ticketing carts. We would do credit card transactions, the old slide.
Yeah,
strings.
Just do the imprint thing on the carbon.
That or cash. And we actually, they would pay on the plane no matter what. And we had, at that point.
What if someone didn't pay?
Challenged. They were met on the ground until they could, or if something else would happen. Yeah. And it didn't happen as frequently as you think.
Okay.
They'd, it really wasn't a big issue. But when they started, when People Express started, they started $19 fares from New York to Boston.
Wow.
And the East Coast cities or Washington D.C. and I think when we opened up cities, we would be just ridiculously low fares. I think Chicago, when we opened up out of Midway, the fares started at $39 each way. I mean, those are numbers that you can't even comprehend at this point. They were cheaper. They're bus tickets.
It's more expensive to park at the airport
exactly.
than it is to fly. Wow.
Exactly. It was really crazy. I think our $99 to London out of New York. Yes, it was.
Let's go back then.
Yeah, go back then. It's crazy.
So when you think about the service that you offered on those flights at that time, and you think about what is happening today with, you don't even get the bag of peanuts anymore, and they shove the seats together, and they're thinking about stacking them up in standing room only on planes.
I saw that yesterday again. I'm like, that's like right around the corner.
I know.
Standing on the
Who wants to stand?
I don't know. It'll be fascinating. But yeah, things have come full circle. It's not what it used to be. Like most other everything, it's not what it used to be. But that's life. That's change. You got to be able to adapt, and that's part of what we're doing down in Chikaming too. You've got to constantly adapt and change in order to stay current.
Let's talk about Chikaming, and we'll talk more about your career through the hour. But I do want to get to Chikaming, so let's unpack your role as supervisor. What does a supervisor for Chikaming Township do? What's your responsibility?
The majority is the time. Right now, it's project management, but we have our own police force. We have our own fire department. We have our own utility department, which handles our water and sewer systems. The staff, day-to-day basis, we have a really amazing staff that majority have been there quite some time. They do their best to make our people happy, and just making sure that we maintain our current infrastructure and improve and plan for the future. Planning is probably one of the biggest parts of my job, is looking for not my current generation, but planning for the next generation. And that's what we've been working on diligently over the past 8 years.
Okay. And Chikaming Township, for those who don't know, the geographic, the political boundaries.
Our boundaries on the southern end are Union Pier Road, Town Lane Road, which turns into Elm Valley Road. It's 3 different names in Chikaming. I don't know why that happened that way. Carpenter Road to the east, and then Browntown Road to the north, and the lake, of course, to the west.
So square mileage wise,
31, 32 square miles.
Okay. So it's a significantly larger area.
Yes,
and you've got a lot of infrastructure there, probably a lot of demands.
Yes. Infrastructure is probably the biggest issue, and planning for replacement. Even though we have only pretty much the lakefront area or west of 94, where most of our water and sewer systems are integrated into our neighborhoods. A lot of that was put in back in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Okay.
Has been band-aided for decades. And now you're looking at major replacement projects that are costly, can't even begin to describe it.
Yeah.
We've worked slowly to improve our roads, and luckily our residents voted for a road millage back in 2018, and we did a road asset management plan, and we put that into effect, and it has improved our roads dramatically. We have some of the best roads now in the county.
Nice.
But that wouldn't have been done without the support of the residents through a millage proposal. And we continue to maintain and improve those throughout the township. And we just restarted another asset plan for another 6 years last fall.
Okay. And talking about, so first the millage, how were you able to get that passed? What did you tell people?
Upfront, honest that without it, you're going to be either turning your roads back to gravel, or you're going to have to live with what you've got and the damage it was doing to your car.
Right.
If you compare the repair on a tire or repair for your car, whatever work you need to have
Suspension and
done,
all that
yes.
stuff. Yeah.
When you start comparing that, if you can get up to a level where you don't have to worry about that, but it more than covers the costs of the repairs to your automobiles and the wear and tear on your vehicles if we don't do something.
Yeah.
Because they were washboard everywhere. And luckily at the same time we were working with the road department because Red Arrow Highway had not been touched and resurfaced or anything in almost 40 years. So, we had a highway that goes through 7 miles of the township.
Yeah.
That was in really horrible
Rough.
disrepair.
Yeah.
Terrible shape.
Yeah. And so talk a little bit about that project because Red Arrow Highway, it's the bane of my car's existence. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not in your area. Your area, I look forward to that because it's beautiful in that area.
Yeah.
But getting to that area from St. Joseph or Stevensville, you've got to go through. I mean, it's like moguls on a ski slope.
Right.
It's crazy. It tests your suspension. It chews up your tires. It does all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, and they're next on the agenda. Thankfully,
Yeah.
they've had to work their way up. We originally had proposed they do all of our stretch down in Chikaming back in 2018, but at that point there was the road commission was still in effect before they churned into the road department and were under the county board of commissioners. And that didn't work, so we had to do it in segments. And we've been patient, so it's taken us 5-6 years to get our entire area done from New Buffalo Township to the south all the way through Chikaming and now to Bridgman, and now they're next.
Yeah,
they get to Bridgman to Stevensville is on the docket.
So one of the questions, and we've reported about this in the news, is one of the questions on Red Arrow Highway in that area you just mentioned is taking it down from 2 lanes in each direction, a 4-lane, down to a 2-lane, 1 lane in each direction with a turn lane in between.
Right.
So a road diet, slimming it down, making it fit and ready for the future. But some people have they say, well, no, that's probably not the best idea because I'm not going to be able to do what I do, pass cars and stuff like that. But your area went through that same experience.
We did.
Maybe describe what it looked like before when the proposal came forward and what it looks like now.
We had the same issues they're having now, or the concerns that residents have in the Bridgman Lake Township, Lake Charter Township area, and probably up to Stevensville is the inability to pass, the slowing down. But the data that was presented to us by Kevin in the road department, Kevin Stack, the chief engineer at the road department, we had to take that and really base any support or non-support against the road diet. And we have a lot of cross-angular road intersections, and because the Red Arrow does go on an angle down by us specifically, you've got unique turns and everything and sightline issues. So trying to cross or get over traffic was also an issue, and accident issues. So we had safety concerns for forever down on Red Arrow Highway. Pullouts from driveways from businesses and things like that. And in order to try to maintain or manage all that, part of the road department's presentation to the township was, we're going to turn these more 90-degree angular. We're going to have one entrance, one exit for some of the businesses. We're trying to really manage this so much better by also initiating this road diet and having a center turn lane. The data supported it from other locations that have done it across the state. And there is little argument when you look at their data. And then when you've got a highway as large as 94, a quarter mile or a half mile just to the east, you've got options. And it was hard to argue. It was hard to argue with that. And it wasn't really our decision. It was the road department's decision. It's their road. It's their money. It's not money that's coming out of Chikaming. And they also presented then with that a certain percentage of the road funding has to go to non-motorized pathways.
Right.
So is this the opportunity? This is potentially a golden opportunity to put in a trail system or to enhance the trail system, which, to be honest with you, Southwest Michigan has sorely lagged behind when you travel to other parts of the state. You go to the northern part of the state up by Travers or some of these other communities, and they have integrated trails all over the place that are beautiful. From recreational and for recreational health perspective and tourism. it's like, well, this just could possibly work for us, and I think it would be very beneficial to connect our communities.
Yeah, yeah. And so once the data was presented and once the work was done, how is it setting now with residents,
You,
including those who were opposed to it initially?
well, aside from myself getting angry with somebody going 35 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone, which everybody goes through all the time, and whether it's on Red Arrow Highway or whether you're on, on 94 or wherever the case may be, it's going to happen. You know, you just got to take a deep breath, and that extra 10 seconds of your life that you'll just have to. I can live with it.
Yeah.
But we don't have the complaints. We didn't after it's all been completed now. Everything is all the data that they presented and all the facts and the results have all come to fruition. It is a safer road to drive on. It makes it easier to get in and out of the cross streets and the businesses along Red Arrow. Has it slowed down? Maybe a little bit in some of our
is that a bad
community
thing?
centers. No, I don't think it is. I think going down a few miles an hour, if you have to get behind somebody from a safety perspective, and because of the activity we have down in Chikaming in that region, I think it's probably a good thing. And I think we could all take a minute to slow down a little bit, don't you think? I think we're all moving too fast.
Yeah, one of the things I think about, when I am on Red Arrow Highway between here and the southern part of the county, is if I need to get there right now, I'm taking 94. If I want to take a little bit of a more leisurely drive and enjoy the people I'm with, I go on Red Arrow Highway.
That's exactly what it should be. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and the small businesses back there really enjoy that.
Exactly. And then to see the activity, I think I love seeing moms with their strollers and their kids on the trail right next to Red Arrow. I mean, it is extremely popular. And not only, it's not just for tourists. This one of the reasons was we want our local community to get out and engage and be community oriented. We want them to be able to connect with one another. Yeah. And all it is a hello when you're on your walking on the path, or somebody's on their bike and says good morning.
Yeah.
I mean, that's lacking. It's something I think we all need to reconnect a little bit better.
All right, we're talking with David Bunte. He's Chikaming Township supervisor, and we're going to continue our conversation. It is Thursday, July 24th. We've got news coming up, some financial news from Bloomberg. We'll get the latest world and national news from ABC, our local news preview, weather, sports. It's all coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We will continue our conversation with Mr. Bunte here on the video live stream right now.
For a limited time.
Okay. No, thank you for explaining that. And so, I hear road diet and I like it. I was surprised at how whenever it's mentioned in certain circles, there's just dead opposition to it.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
The main opposition that we came across, and I think you heard some of it, or the public did at the Lake Charter Township meeting last week, was how it was going to impact them negatively from a time. It's more timing than anything else. How long is it going to take me to get to work now? Because it's 3 lanes instead of 2. It's going to add 30 seconds or a minute. Or when you really start to boil it down, it's the initial, the impact on the individual.
Sure.
On how is this going to negatively impact me, as opposed to potentially changing your mindset. How could this positively impact not only me, but the region, my kids, my grandkids? What we're trying to do here, since some of your stories that you said about this morning, it's transportation, it's accessibility, aging population.
Yeah.
Our kids and our grandkids are moving out of the area. They're not staying here. We have to give them opportunity, and we have to follow what the wants and needs and desires of that age group are for the future growth, or use growth very, very conservatively, but the future of our region. We have to plan that way.
Yeah, yeah, and when you put that trail in next to that roadway, it's an amenity.
Absolutely.
And it's a draw to people who are considering the area for their lives.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, so I like that. So looking back at the decision before the road crews made it from 4 lanes down to 2 lanes, any hesitation on what they're doing now in Lake Charter Township?
And I drive Red Arrow all the time, like you, on a regular basis. And in the winter especially, I'll probably take Red Arrow instead of 94. I don't trust 94.
Ditto. Yeah, same here.
And
because you don't know how crazy people are going fast. I mean, it's just, anyway, crazy fast people are going.
That being said, I think the amount of traffic, and again, the data that Kevin presented, that happens between Bridgman and Stevensville specifically, you'll get the pushes of Cook's nuclear plant in and out at times. Other than that, it's very similar to what we have down in Southern County. And I think when it's all said and done, yes, you're gonna get behind somebody once in a while that's going a little slower than the speed limit, and you're gonna get angry and get that stress.
Can we set a minimum?
A minimum. You should bring that up with Kevin.
I'll bring that up.
I'm not gonna address that.
By the way, on the video live stream, a good morning from Michelle Height. She says, "Say hi to my good friend David."
Good morning, Michelle.
Teresa says, "Good morning." Diane says, "Good morning."
Good morning.
Who else do we have here? Yeah, so we've got a few folks listening on the video, watching on the video live stream. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And I don't mean to dominate about the road stuff, but any last thoughts on this issue?
No, I would hope that people would give the opportunity or come down and experience maybe what we've done in South. You experience it daily here on Napier.
Yeah.
When they went, the few that were angry about that going to 3 lanes, but it has worked out. It has not made a huge traffic impact negatively. It's safer to drive.
It's safer to drive, and there's an anecdote. There's a story. One of the news people here got rear-ended when it was still 4 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
When it was still 4 lanes, trying to make a left turn into Midwest Family, got rear-ended. Now there's that safe lane in the middle. He doesn't have to worry about it.
Absolutely, and that is exactly the reasoning why I think it's worked out so well. Unfortunately, we did have an accident at the corner of Union Pier Road and Red Arrow about a week and a half ago. There's a lot of activity in Union Pier, obviously.
Yeah,
a lot of seasonals and a lot of visitors there. People have to be cautious. They're going to reevaluate that intersection with the road department and do another study on it. But prior to that, since we had redone the Union Pier area with my good friend Michelle Height from New Buffalo Township, when we redid the entire downtown area of Union Pier and put in all the infrastructure there, we had not had any accidents from when we went to 3 lanes to up to a couple of weeks ago, which, is a testament to the change. There had been many, many more prior on a 4-lane roadway.
Yeah. Okay. 7:37 WSJM Morning Show. We're talking with David Bunte, Chikaming Township Supervisor. We'll continue and we'll talk about some of the projects Chikaming has coming up in just a couple of moments. We've got to get to some news. Finishing up Bloomberg right now. We'll get to ABC and the weather forecast in a moment.
After the U.S. secured an agreement with Japan, there's also rising optimism surrounding the potential for a similar deal with the European Union. The Dow jumped 508 points. The S&P rose 49 and hit a new high. The NASDAQ jumped 127 points to a new record. Gina Cerbetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:38 WSJM Morning Show continues. It's Thursday, July 24th. I'm Ken Lundberg. I've got a special guest in studio, David Bunte. He's the supervisor for Chikaming Township. We'll continue that conversation on the video live stream in just a moment. First off, weather forecast for today. Heat advisory in effect from 11 o'clock this morning to 8 p.m. What does that mean? It means get out and do your work outside early before it gets really hot. Today's forecast, it's gross out there right now. It's partly cloudy. We do have some sunshine heating us up already. 30% chance of showers and storms today in the late afternoon. Hot and humid conditions, a high around 95, a heat index over 100 in the hottest areas of southwest Michigan. Tonight's forecast, mostly cloudy, and an 80% chance of showers and storms this evening. I don't think they're going to be severe storms, but we are going to get some rain, and that's good news, especially with this heat. Friday's forecast, mostly cloudy, a 50% chance of showers and storms tomorrow, hot and humid again, a high of 86. And the weekend forecast, partly sunny, chance of rain, good chance of rain on Saturday, a less of a chance of rain on Sunday, but it's going to be hot and humid both days. Highs probably around 87, 88 degrees in the warmest areas. 7:39 WSJM Morning Show continues. We've got the latest world and national news update from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Several developments in the Jeffrey Epstein story. Sources familiar with the matter tell ABC News Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche will be meeting with Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell today at the prison where she's serving time in Florida. Chairman of the House Oversight Committee has issued a subpoena to Maxwell for a deposition to occur next month at that same prison. A federal judge has denied a request to unseal grand jury transcripts of federal investigations into Epstein.
He said the court's hands are tied here, and the Justice Department did not provide enough of a reason, enough of a justification for releasing grand jury testimony, which is supposed to be kept secret.
BBC's Aaron Katursky. Also, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that Attorney General Pam Bondi told President Trump in May that his name is mentioned several times in the Epstein files. Columbia University agreeing to pay $220 million to restore federal research dollars. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:40. WSJM Morning Show continues. I'm Ken Lundberg. Thanks for joining us. Some of the news that we'll bring to you at 8 o'clock this morning. Obviously, the hot weather, it's here. It's a news item, and it'll be with us for a few more days. Maybe we'll get a brief respite if the storms come in right tonight. The heat index climbed to around 100 degrees yesterday in Benton Harbor. It's expected to get as high as 102 degrees today. So act accordingly. We'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Also, news from area Congressman Bill Huizenga. He's decided he will not be running for the U.S. Senate. So we'll have an update on that. And then Benton Harbor area schools announced that they finalized their deal with the superintendent they selected. Yeah, they worked out the contract deal. So Dr. Simone Griffin has apparently signed, and she's going to start next Monday. So we'll tell you those stories and more. That's coming up at 8 o'clock right here on the WSJM Morning Show. 7:41, 19 minutes before 8 o'clock. We've got sports coming up next with Dave Wolf. First, a look at state news with our friends from Michigan News Network, and we'll get back to our conversation with Dave Bunte. He's the David Bunte is the Chikaming Township supervisor on the video live stream. That starts right now. Okay. Without further ado, Chikaming, biggest projects happening right now. Things you want to talk about most?
Biggest projects. I think the biggest one now that we have ongoing, I should say, is Harbert Park next to the Township Center in Harbert. It's a $1.3 million project. We have new restroom facilities going into the park. We have pathways, a great 2 pickleball courts. All the pickleball lovers out there, myself included. I love to play.
You play pickleball?
I do.
When did you pick up pickleball?
Oh man, I started playing pickleball probably about 6 or 7 years ago.
It's been around that long? I don't know.
Dating. Oh yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh, sure.
So I guess. So I've been out of this. Used to play tennis courts in St. Joseph at the St. Joseph High School. They have beautiful tennis courts. And then all of a sudden I saw the tape for what looked like a smaller court pop up.
That was it.
Had no idea what it was until I saw him playing. And it's like this ferociously fast thing going back. How in the world?
It's a sport that has exploded.
Yeah.
It started in Florida. More retirees than some of those communities.
They make rackets in Niles.
I know. I know.
It's so cool.
It's fun. I mean, and it's for any age group, and it's got different skill levels like tennis does.
Okay.
And we belong to the South Shore Health and Racket Club, and they had put in a whole new facility last year too. That is
nice.
Extremely popular. But the demand from the community was we want pickleball courts. So every community seems to be putting them in.
Yeah.
So we have 2 courts going in along with additional parking, lighting, the trailhead there that is going to connect the Red Arrow Trail right in our park as well.
Okay.
So a lot of great improvements coming on Harbert Park. That's about hopefully have that project completed mid to late September. That was with the help of a Spark grant through the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources. We've just about completed all the funding that we needed for a cone park, a new park in Sawyer. That's right in front of Infusco on Sawyer Road.
Yeah.
That we're waiting on release of funds from the National Park Service, since it was a land and conservation fund, water fund grant that we were awarded as well. But that's where the funding comes from. So in the uncertainty of the
I was going to ask you what
fingers crossed that everything's going to fall into place.
Okay.
As long as that does come through, we'll get that project agreement through the DNR, and we hope to go to bid. And if not sooner, at the latest, start construction in spring.
How much is held up right now in the federal government?
That grant was for about $350,000.
Okay. So when do you think you'll know more about that, the status of that?
You know about as much as I do.
Okay.
I think at this point, I'm just anxiously awaiting the notification from the DNR.
Okay.
It's out of our hands, obviously, and it's
Yeah.
just more of a waiting game. At
What
this point.
happens if the federal government pulls the plug on
We
it?
will figure out a way.
Yeah.
We always seem to.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been extremely fortunate and extremely aggressive in grant writing in Chikaming. We've had all the improvements that I can possibly think of since I came into office. The majority of the costs associated with have not been with taxpayer dollars. They've been with grants. We took advantage of the fact that there was a lot available during the COVID period or post-COVID. And we're very, very fortunate. But it's a lot of work. Grants are a ton of work. Writing them and then maintaining the entire process and doing all the documentation and paperwork. I understand why people are challenged to go for them because of all the work involved, but the rewards are great.
Yeah. Yeah. And matching
funds, some of them require them, some of them don't.
Yeah.
But we have generous donations and donors through the township as well, both personal and corporate. The Cone family, especially for Cone Park, has been extremely generous.
Yeah.
And then we did a patronicity fundraising campaign that raised another $75,000 through the public interest. And that all wrapped up here about a month ago. So
that's great.
A lot of really positive things. And these are all community-based projects. These are trying to get people out, enjoy the community you live in, accessibility. We couldn't be more lucky. It's been great.
What other projects?
And
I'm going to ask you about erosion, by the way.
Okay. That was a big one that happened a number of years ago. We do have a Sawyer Road rehab project, and that is engineering is complete. It is for sidewalks and lighting along Sawyer Road from Red Arrow Highway all the way to Flynn, which is just east of downtown Sawyer, to make it safer for people to have access again, non-motorized access to and from downtown Sawyer and all the businesses along that corridor. So that project is complete, ready to go, and now we're going to go after the funding for it. It's a little over $4 million project, so it's a major undertaking, and we'll go after grants and state and federal grants for that.
Okay. Erosion. How? I mean, you've got the lake there.
Erosion.
What?
Yeah, I'm
how are
hoping the
things?
water stays low before I'm out of.
Good luck with that one.
Talking to Michelle yesterday about that. Boy, it'd be nice if our lake level stayed low.
Yeah. Is that helping? It must be helping.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. But it's going to come back. We all know it. It's it's cyclical. It'll happen again. Chikaming is the only municipality in the state that enacted an ordinance that we don't allow hard armoring. We don't allow seawalls and that kind of construction because the detriment to the township and everyone's properties, period, was too great. And we're very fortunate. This isn't a one size fits all type of arrangement. We know that. We have the dunes, Warren Dunes State Park to our north, and the normal drift of sand comes from that area and replenishes our coastline. So we're extremely lucky in that regard. So why would we do anything that would
stop that? Right.
Stop that. Yeah. That we've got historical records and data, even photographs from the early 1900s, where we've lost about 6 feet of shoreline and dune line for almost over 100 years. How do we protect and maintain that for the rest of our, existence and then beyond? That was our goal. And we've been a poster child that I'm very involved in a lot of coastline management programs and consortiums around the state that they've asked us to tell them how we made it happen. And again, it's not a one size fits all. It can work for some communities, I believe, in Michigan. Others, it doesn't because of the infrastructure they have or the municipality or whatever they have along the coastline. And that is trying to do what you can to prepare for the next instead of waiting until it happens. You got to prepare for it now because it's going to happen. Yeah.
What are the biggest challenges you face as supervisor at Chikaming?
Making everybody happy, I think, is the biggest.
Are you able to do that?
No,
okay.
That is an impossible goal. It's a goal, but it's impossible to achieve. Yeah. We live unfortunately in a society that is a me society, and we want people to be a community society in Chikaming and in our region. And when people are so focused on just their little slice of pie or they're having, you're not thinking about your neighbors. We're a community of good neighbors. That's what our moniker is. That probably is the most challenging thing, is to see, take a moment, step back, think about the impact. Is it really that important? of what your complaint is or your issue is, are you thinking of others? Let's help support one another.
Yeah. All right. We're going to continue the conversation with David Bunte, Chikaming Township Supervisor, in just a moment on WSJM.
103. We do have a chance of a few thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. Those could be strong to severe. We'll drop down to 73 tonight. And then a few scattered showers and partly sunny skies on Friday. High temperatures are back at 86. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Puja.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
7:49 WSJM Morning Show continues. For Thursday, July 24th, our guest this hour has been David Bunte, Chikaming Township Supervisor. We've got him for a few more minutes here. Let's make this part of our Moody on the Market update, which is hourly, and it's brought to you by Insurance Management Service this hour. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And the Moody on the Market update, we talk often about business updates. We talk about life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here. And we talk about interesting people you should know. And I think we hit all three buckets here, David,
Thank you.
with you. So, no, thank you. We appreciate it. I appreciate Chikaming, except for those little black flies that really bite you.
Those aren't ours. They come from the dunes.
Oh,
so
okay.
They come from Lake Charter Township.
They come from the surrounding townships. What's the best way to not have those bite you?
I have no idea. Unfortunately, when I've gone to the beach or gone down there and they're there, I turn around and go back because there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
Offshore, is it onshore, I think? Yeah, when the winds come off the dune and there are those flies.
Those little buggers. Yeah. And what I think about doing is I'm going to invent a baseball cap that has a horse tail on the back of it, a synthetic horse tail, and I'll just do that all day long.
When you do that, would you tell me? So I want to at least get
you want to get video for social media?
Exactly.
No, speaking of media, I was on your website just in preparation, seeing what you had up on there. Congratulations on the website. It's nice.
Thank you.
It's a very nice website. I signed up for your newsletter, so
Right.
Look forward to seeing what that looks like.
Great.
Yeah. So tell us, as supervisor, so are you in charge of setting like agendas and stuff like that for the supervisor or for the board?
Board meetings,
for board meetings.
Yes.
What's that process like?
Essentially, it's everything that is accumulated over the month before that the board needs to take action on.
You meet monthly.
Yes, we meet monthly. If people want to come, we're always encouraging in attendance. On the second Thursday of the month at 6:30 at the Township Center.
Okay.
Yeah, and if there's something that comes across my desk or somebody wants to add something to our agenda, I try to review it to make sure that it's pertinent, try to get it, so maybe some feel on one-on-ones with township board members to make sure that it's something they would like to address or we need to address in that environment.
Yeah.
But our township board meetings are our opportunity to do business in the business of the township, and then to hear from people from our comment section. Obviously, we follow the rules of order.
Yep.
We have a lot. We have a lot going on down in Chikaming, and it's been extremely rewarding. I've got a great board. They've been extremely supportive. They've taken the vision that I brought in when I was elected, and that I was hoping that we could move the township forward, and embraced it and done extremely well. And I think that hopefully our community appreciates that. Also, I got to kudos to our staff. We have an amazing staff at the township that, like I said, some have been there for quite some years, and others fairly recent. They remind me all the time when I first came into office, the first thing I said was, the one thing I'm going to tell you right now is I never want to hear, because that's the way we've always done it.
I love that.
Because it was no longer the way we've always done it. And I challenged them a lot, and they've embraced it through some anger and some tears, but we've been able to get through it. And I love working with all of them. I'm extremely fortunate to be there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You talk about your vision. The vision that's on the website for Chikaming Township is creating a sense of community for all to live, work, and play. How is that vision coming to life?
I think the projects that we've completed, the ones that we have going forward, are achieving exactly that. If people engage. In public engagement is the key, and that's what's always one of the most challenging things of the job, that you want people to talk, to have a conversation, to get engaged with the community, understand what we're doing and the reasons behind it. We don't make these decisions for improving our park system or initializing these like the trail system or roadways. Everything we're doing with the sense of community and trying to get them to get out and enjoy where they live even more than they already do. And then welcoming our visitors, as opposed to being negative about our business, even though there are periods of the year, like the 4th of July weekend, that is always going to be crazy. No matter what you do, it's going to be that way.
Sure.
And that they're an integral part of our community, and understanding that and putting that into perspective.
Yeah. What does Chikaming Township look like in 20 years?
I'm hopeful that we continue to see a influx of youth, younger families, couples starting new business, entrepreneurs. We're never going to be a large corporation type of operation down there. We're not going to see a lot of, we don't have the infrastructure to support it. There won't be a ton of changes. We can see improvements in quality of life by doing the infrastructure needs that we're doing now. I think that will continue. But I would love to see additional youth move in, start up businesses, support the community. I'd love to see an elongated season. I want to 24. I think you said it in one of your news clips before from South Haven.
Yeah.
We also strive to have businesses open and available for use 12 months out of the year.
Year round.
And that has always been one of our goals too. Is like, how do we, and we're seeing that a little bit. It's creeping into more November now and is starting a little earlier in the season, which is great. But now we got to tie those two ends together over the winter.
Yeah.
But I really would love to see more people into the area that are youth. Our biggest challenge, of course, is the cost of living. Our real estate prices there are extremely high, so it makes it difficult and challenging. And for us to put in some affordable housing or workforce housing, also challenging because of infrastructure restraints.
Yeah.
So those will always be challenges, but we'll continue to see if we can find a way.
Yeah. Well, no, thank you for laying that out. I'm thinking about agritourism.
Agritourism, huge for us.
Yeah.
And growing. I love our rural community. Like I said, I've got a farming background, so I respect them immensely. Yeah. But you're starting to see more large-scale farms go to large corporations. But we're also seeing the influx of people that want to start their own small business or use agritourism. I mean, our obviously our wine industry here in the county has gone crazy in the past 20 years. The same thing with people say about breweries, but there are, they're using the grains in the area and trying to incorporate that into it. That's all part of agritourism, and it's a huge draw for us. So blending agriculture and rural farm life into our tourism industry, what a great way to support one another and to bring people here and enjoy our area.
Absolutely. We're talking with David Bunte, Chikaming Township Supervisor. It's part of our Moody on the Market update this hour. Moody on the Market update brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We'll conclude this in just a moment here on WSJM.
Rich Fran and Tara Halsey from Insurance.
All right. Did we talk about everything we wanted to talk about today? I did. You?
Good. I think we touched all the bases.
Okay.
We ran the gamut more so than I thought we would. I mean, I haven't talked about my airline industry for quite some time. So that was
any scary flights?
Scary flights. A couple drops, altitude drops, with carts in the aisle that fly up that you'll see on the news once in a while. Only a couple of those. But other than that, no other major issues over the years I was there.
Total jet airline?
Oh, yeah.
Any props or regionals or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Total jet, all 737s, 727s, and 747s.
Yeah. And wings are made to flex, right?
Yes, sir. There's movement there for a reason.
Because I early in my flying, because I've done a lot of flying, but early on, you look out the window if you're sitting over the wing and you're seeing it go like 3 feet in each direction. You're thinking, is this supposed to be doing that? And actually, I studied up on it, and now I'm reassured it is supposed to be doing that. If it didn't do that,
we'd be in trouble.
That'd be a problem.
So let the wings move. Please. Don't be concerned.
Do you get back to Florida much?
Not that often. Spend a little time in the winter in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. That's one of my favorite places to go to.
Yeah.
And looking forward to doing a lot more traveling here in the next few years.
Okay. All right.
As I age, as I grow old.
As we season.
Season.
As we continue to season.
I'll use season. Thank you.
Yeah. But thinking about Florida, you probably would touch the Everglades every now and again.
Yes.
That's what the weather we have today.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Well, when you live in Florida, I lived there for 5 years, and everybody closes up their house in May to October like we do from December to April.
Yeah.
That's about all you can stand because the humidity is so bad.
It is just ridiculous. Okay, so we'll be right back in just a moment to conclude this interview. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Thanks for tuning in.
From the Pack Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
That wraps up this hour. Our guest has been David Bunte, Chikaming Township Supervisor. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
I really
absolutely.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Any last words? 10 seconds or less.
10 seconds or less. Get out and enjoy it, even though it's hot.
Yeah.
Be careful, but enjoy our community for what it offers. Don't let time pass you by.
Yeah, don't let too much time pass you by. If you haven't been to Chikaming Township lately, go. I mean, it's fantastic. I love it there, and I think you'd endorse it as well.
Yes, I would.
All right.
Sure.
David Bunte, Chikaming Township Supervisor, we appreciate it. If you missed any part of this interview, you can check it out. It's already on the video archive. Just go to our WSJM Smart app. It's right there. It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. There's a meeting in Florida this morning, and it